Okay, good morning. Just wanted to make sure. It's been a while since I've walked. It's been a little cold. And I just got into a project and realized that I'm still doing the project, but I was kind of forgetting about myself. So I decided to do what were the necessities first thing. Taking meds, taking a walk, waking up a little bit, that's still a necessity. And do all that first before I do anything else, you know? If for no other reason, for the fresh air. It's beautiful outside today. You know, it's been raining the last few weeks too, and that could have been part of it too, but I think a lot of it was that I needed to put myself first. Now if I can just get there with the getting to Mass, you know, because that's kind of a necessity too for me. For both of us. It just seems like the week goes better. My sister-in-law says she always, you know, when she's had a bad week and she really doesn't want to go to Mass, she just remembers how bad the week could be if she didn't go. Or maybe it's that she didn't want to go and then she had a bad week. And she thought, you know what, if I hadn't gone to Mass, it would have been much worse. That's what she said. I love living in this neighborhood. Let me think. First time I saw this neighborhood, I was probably between 9 and 10 years old, probably 10-ish. And my mom and dad had been dating a while. And mom started spending more and more time in this house because they'd watch Saturday Night Live together. The show was like new then. And then they started so slowly incorporating me, so I saw Dad a lot more regularly. For those of you who don't know, the man I call Dad, he was my real dad. He just adopted me when I was 12. He was the one that took an interest in me and took care of me. But, you know, thing is, so I remember driving up here, and one of the first times we did, Mom had driven over in her little green Pinto. If any of you remember Pintos, they weren't very good cars, but it was the first car that my mom ever bought for herself. She gave up her driver's license for a while when she married Ron and went to Columbus and stuff, and so it probably took until I was maybe age 6, 7, probably closer to 7, when she got her driver's license, when she took the driver's license test again. She gave it up before. And then she bought Pinto, and she was real proud of that Pinto. The only thing she loved more was putting my first dog there, PJ. She was a Labrador Poodle. But she loved to put PJ in the front seat for a co-pilot when she'd be driving around. When I wasn't in there, obviously. But I can remember her pulling up to the garage door, and I'm thinking, oh, we're probably just going to pop by for... No, Mom and Dad were probably talking at least a good hour. And it just kind of slowly started happening. There are clues everywhere. It's just, you know, when you're 10, you don't know that. But I can remember Mama telling me that Mr. Bryant wanted me to call him something other than Mr. Bryant as long as it wasn't Uncle Tom. Didn't like that. Man is a genius, and I'm not saying that out of just because I loved him. although I did love him. But no, the man was a genius. He built a shower in Korea because he was so desperate for a shower. He said he'd never been so cold, dirty, and hungry and scared in all his life. So actually it's very logical that he did something to take care of it. But there his commanding officers were there, they were there with a towel and a bar of soap. I guess they got to take their shower first without so much as a thank you. Maybe it's because I don't understand the military, but I would think even if they're a commanding officer, you would say thank you. I mean, you could be a leader and still say thank you. But in any case, I can remember coming over there, spending the day with him, and Mom would bring me back and put me in Daddy's bed to go to sleep while they watched Saturday Night Live or something. And he had a navy blanket on there. Remember, there are no women living there yet. Although a navy blanket, does keep you perfectly warm and it's perfectly serviceable and neat. But I can remember that. I can remember going away to camp one year and Mom bringing me in and plopping me in Dad's purple bathtub. We still have that. And she made sure I had a bath and stuff, because if you know anything about kids and going to camp, the whole bath thing isn't that, they don't always think as much about baths when they're, like camping at like a 1 week camp or whatever. I think that was probably my Campfire Girls camp I went to. This was before they invited boys to join. I can just remember all kinds of things. Hell, maybe if I tell these stories and share them, I won't need to tell people the same stories over and over again. My mama used to say she had all kinds of stories. The problem is she would tell the same ones over and over, and I seem to have inherited that. Actually, I think when she plunked me in Dad's bathtub, that was the night that I probably, they put me in his bed and had me sleep while they watched Saturday Night Live in the living room. Oh my goodness, would you look at all the traffic today? I'm just enjoying the sunshine and the fresh air. Yeah, I remember when Mom and Dad announced they were engaged. One thing I was kind of scared because I'd never lived with a man before. Well, Ron for the first 3 months of my life. And then Papa probably another few months. But really, I had no memory of living with a man, so it was really hard to not be frightened. But we worked through that. He turned out to be a really good dad. And I appreciate him and respect him for that. And I just hope where he is, he still thinks about us occasionally. He's with Mama now. Has been for 5 years now, I think. But no, I was excited about moving into the house that we're living in now because it had an air conditioning. And not just air conditioning, like a window unit. Because in 1980 it was common to just have a window unit. Only the really nice houses had central air. Well, somehow Dad had been able to get central air in that house, and it's fantastic. Still is. We had to replace the heating and cooling system, and that hurt money-wise. But I suppose when you consider how much you pay in rent, at least you're, investing in your own home. Unless there's eminent domain, nobody can kick you out, you know? It was a transition. I think at first I was grumpy with Ed, and he was grumpy with me. But really, the man adored me. He thought I was wonderful, and not perfect, but wonderful. I know I've said this before. He was the only man that got past my husband. Is the only man my daddy liked that I brought home. And he could be really a tough judge. But, daddies, they're kind of particular about who their daughters spend time with, and even more so marry, Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if mamas are that way about their sons, and daddies are that way about their sons, too. Somebody really set up a nice Halloween thing. It's kind of cool. I think they even have a Freddy Krueger. I can remember my neighbor, Julie Williamson used to live here. She has long since grown up and moved away. But I can remember she could run like you wouldn't believe. Her dad would train her, and she'd be able to run circle eights around our blocks, and it would equal about 1 mile. A lot of people liked that. And she was a winner. I mean, she could do pretty much, anything she wanted to regarding running, and now she seems to be a success too. But she always was smart. There are very few friends that I have from when I went to school that I spend time with, and the others that I'm really close with, I was kind of picky about that. I wasn't always. But I'm in a much more comfortable place now that I, have cut people out of my life that just aren't good for me. It happens. I mean, I'd never cut out family ever, unless it was something like a felony, and it wasn't an accident. But no. Got my friend Angie. I've just reconnected with her, and she's fun to be with and to talk to. I really do love her. I forgot how we were almost like sisters. You'd be surprised that I would forget that. But we're having a lot of fun, and we have a lot of things in common. And honestly, I'm a lot happier now since I've started taking care of myself, in regards to my spiritual life and physically and nutritionally and all that. I've pretty much worked on my spiritual, mental, and physical health, and you know what? It helps. That's a weird way to put it, but after 5 years, my Ozempic anniversary was just a few days ago. But the first 5 years that we're just passing, I might be passing into 6 or 5, I'll have to look. I've lost count. But, it's more about health. I did take Ozempic, but that's not the main thing that helped me. God had to help me, and I had to help myself, and I pretty much didn't do it without the help of others, too. In any case, I'm going to sign off for today. I've got stuff to do. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I'll talk to you later. Bye.